Afternoon. Just been walking the dog. It's absolutely freezing. Should have been, apparently according to yesterday's weather forecast, blue sky and full sunshine, but as you can see, you can't even see the sun anywhere. I was just listening to Matthew Stadland say a few bits on GB News about farmers and in the inheritance tax policy. And he was saying, basically, why should farmers get away with not paying inheritance tax? It's because they graft and put their whole lives aside to make food for the nation, Matthew. Yeah, you can't really compare it to normal people doing everyday jobs. Farmers are mostly small family farms, and they have pretty much nothing in the bank, and all their assets are in their land and their machinery, which even, a big tractor can be up to 800 grand, a couple of those and you're at the threshold already. These people, Matthew, give their lives to make healthy food, whether it's livestock or arable, for us. And it's something that we need to support more, and which would be good for the environment if we had more local small farms producing food to supply locally, and then we wouldn't have to ship food in from overseas at great costs and on planes and ships, and for us to have food all around the year that shouldn't really be eaten. We should just eat seasonally from locally supported resource farms. But anyway, these farmers, they don't get sick pay and holiday pay and 4 weeks off a year, blah blah blah. They work every day, usually from the crack of dawn till the end of the middle of the night. If they look after livestock, they can be up all hours, and these people need our support. That you can't compare their situation to just normal people working in an office. That's obscene. And like so much and so many policies come from London liberal elites, they have no idea about farming and rural life. None. And that is actually a bigger discussion, because you ask lots of kids in cities, oh, where does that pork chop come from? Or where does that mince come from in your bolognese? And they're like, oh, from Tesco's, or, they have no concept and respect or understanding of the food cycle and the process and farming and all of that. And farmers are the bedrock of our society, and they need all our utmost respect and support and thanks. It's why I think another tradition that we've lost, which thankfully some little schools still do, is doing harvest festivals and giving thanks to our farmers for the food that they've created for us. And often we can give food to others who don't find so much plentiful food, and it's a lovely tradition that every school should do. We need to give thanks, we need to support them, and you might find the odd enormous wealthy farms which own multiple farms, huge big businesses, or sometimes you get corporate owned or whatever, maybe. But the concept of having to pay inheritance tax over 2 million, whatever it is obscene. Like I say, it's a couple of tractors or so, and the prices of land, because so many big corporations have been trying to buy up land, has gone up exponentially. So you can have a small tiny plot, and again that takes you over the threshold. And as I said, most farmers don't have any in the bank, and everything goes into their work, and they love it. It's a passion, it's their tradition, it's the inheritance that they got from their parents is about how to farm and the respect of their land and their animals, and it's knowledge that's passed down. It's not luxury and wealth. The only wealth most farmers receive is history and knowledge passed down from loved ones, and that's also something that we need to nurture and respect. And then on a greater kind of conversation is around inheritance tax, because I think generally inheritance tax, unless again you're a multi-millionaire or you're passing down a great estate, it should not be a thing, because you've already paid what you own when you die. You've already paid tax on multiple times. And the fact that the tax threshold for normal people has been like kept static for so long is just obscene. Again, like my dad, again, I've mentioned this before, but when he passed 8 years ago, he had a little bungalow, but it was in a nice area, and that pushed it over just over the threshold. And you know, I was devastated. I'm a real daddy's girl, and he was the best human on this planet. And while you're trying to deal with that trauma, I had to go and meet someone who came to his little bungalow with a clipboard, and they went round just ticking off anything he owned, which was nothing at that stage. Oh, but looked at a painting, or looked at, oh, that table, you know, that's made by so. It was horrible. It was just like being stripped bare when you're already in such turmoil and pain. It was like vultures on a carcass. It was vile. So the very concept of death duties to me is disgusting. But perhaps a conversation around the extremely wealthy, like I say, with mansions or massive businesses, and I don't know, multi-millionaires. But even then, it's questionable, because people work hard to just live life normally. But again, the essence and the meaning and the kind of drive to work hard often comes down to providing a better life for those that come after you. And if you can't do that, where is the motivation? Like, what is the point? Like, in this socialist utopia that so many dream of, we'd all just basically down our tools, and we'd have no farms, no food, nothing would be produced. There would be no small businesses creating jobs. There would be nothing. We'd just all be sat at home waiting for our paycheck from the government, and I don't know where they'd get the money from, because who would be creating the wealth? But anyway, farmers are the bedrock of our society, and they very much deserve our respect and support. And people need to learn a little bit more about what real farming's like. And it's hard, and it's dirty, and it's lonely, and it's often thankless. So again, a society that doesn't respect its farmers, or like one that doesn't respect its elders, is a society that's broken, and one that needs to check its morals and what it stands for. So yeah, power to farmers. Thank you very much.